Von unserer Seite sind alle da.
So, hello everybody. Good morning, Americas, and good afternoon, Europe. My name is Kurt Peterhans. I'm CEO of AXIROS and Managing Director Operations. A warm welcome to our webinar today. AXIROS and WebToGo enrich your AXIROS device management with a self-care app, Help2Go. So, let me directly jump into the topic and give you a short overview on AXIROS and what we are doing. AXIROS is a company founded already 2002, so in business since 15, 16 years now. And what we are doing is we focus solely on open device management and service management for the telco industry. We do have global presences in Germany, in Russia, in Lisbon, in Munich, in Milan, in Zurich, in Atlanta, in Sao Paulo, to serve all our customers. So, when it comes to our customer base, you see a lot of operators and telcos, more than 230, 240 worldwide, from the big tier 1, tier 2s on each continent, from Canada to Americas to Latin America, all over Russia and Russian-speaking countries like Belarus, all over Europe, from Greece to Spain to Portugal, up to Italy, all over Germany, and then up to the Nordics. Those are all our customers, and what we are doing for these customers is actually what we do call open device management. When it comes to open device management, what does this mean for us? This means that we do bring all the telco devices out in the field, whether they are for residential customers or for business customers. We bring them all into one managed set. And when I say we bring them all into one managed set, this means we do this independent from the device vendor. We do have customers who run devices from 15, 20, 25 different vendors, old devices, legacy devices, but also brand new devices with a very good TR69 implementation on it. We do this independent for our customers from the underlying network, whether it's cable, fiber, copper, or even satellite networks. What is not a problem for us. And we do this independent from the management interface available on the device. So clearly we are specialists in TR69 as a standard developed by the Broadband Forum, and we can touch all these devices via TR69 if available, but we can also touch them via DOCSIS, via Telnet, via SSH, via command line interface, and via SNMP. Why I do like this picture in front of you quite much is because it shows exactly what we are doing. So typically, we provide to our customers basic device management, unified customer care console as an example. So if a call comes in from an end customer to the support claiming that the internet is not working or that the bandwidth is low, then the supporter can connect directly to this device, can reconfigure it, can reprovision it, can check the parameters, and can fix the problem. And this goes on to continuous monitoring, reactive assurance, proactive assurance, and ends with a quite good self-care. And so these are all use cases, typical use cases like initial provisioning, like firmware management, like, as I said before, unified customer care console, like monitoring. So far, I just talked about provisioning, which means writing to a device, but we can also read all the information from a device. We can do this from millions of devices in near real time. And when I said we can read all this information, this means we can read out all information available on the device. We can aggregate the information, we can pre-process it. We can do analytics on this. We can forward the information to the backend of the customer, to the BSS, OSS systems, if he has their whatever business intelligence. And yeah, we can typically do all this monitoring and analytics on things like LTE quality, DOCSIS quality, DSL quality, voice quality, and also important video quality. And one topic which is very, very interesting, and everyone is talking about this, is Wi-Fi quality and Wi-Fi quality optimization. And here I do have some information from a real customer from us, which where we gained some insights over the last month. And what we do see here is that he came to us and said, okay, we do receive that many calls in our support center, and the root cause, most of them goes back to Wi-Fi quality. What can you do about this? And so we checked the devices, we collected all the information available on the Wi-Fi routers, and the outcome was really surprising also to us. So what we saw is that most of his customers had between 11 to 18, 11 to 20 neighboring Wi-Fi points around their CPEs. And yeah, you can imagine what is the result of this. This results in congestion, and congestion means resending of packets, and resending of packet means bandwidth is going down. And when bandwidth goes down, the video quality is bad, the voice quality goes down, data transmission goes down, and the customer simply calls the support and says, hey, internet is not working. I do not get the bandwidth that you sold me. But in reality, in truth, it's not a problem of the bandwidth. It's a problem of his Wi-Fi, because he has all these neighboring Wi-Fi points around, and which leads to a lot of congestion. But this is not the only thing. Another thing what we recognized is, maybe some of you know this feature, auto channel selection. And we recognized that from the enabled devices, which had this auto channel selection feature on, more or less 90% of them were all booked in to channel number 1. And now you can imagine what happens if everyone is booked in on channel number 1 with 11 to 20 Wi-Fi spots around. Nothing will work, and the bandwidth will go significantly down. And this is what we saw here on the left side. So 64% of his customers were surfing, were transmitting data with a channel quality of 10% or even lower. And just 6% of his customers were in a Wi-Fi, which enabled them to transmit data with a channel quality of 50%. So what did we do for this customer? First of all, we enabled the support that when a call comes in, he could connect to this router. He could check the quality of the Wi-Fi, and he was able to, the supporter was able or is able now to change the channel of the Wi-Fi. And this already brought a lot of improvement. And then we started off with something what we do call mesh operations. So this means that we collected all the informations from the Wi-Fi, from his Wi-Fi networks, from his Wi-Fi spots. And so we had a quite good algorithm, and we aggregated all this information. And so we optimized the settings, and we switched to different channels during the night. And this resulted in a significant improvement, these zero-touch reprovisioning of the Wi-Fi channels 1 time per day. And yeah, so This resulted that more or less 33% of his customers could serve with a quality of 70% now, and only 3% left who were not able to transmit data with a quality better than 10%. And this was a significant improvement. So let me stop here with my introduction to Wi-Fi quality and Wi-Fi optimization, and let me hand over to Wolfgang and to Lisa.
Yeah, thanks, Kurt, for the demonstration. Excellent. Lisa, I will hand the presenter over to you, now your moderator. And
yes, thank you. And hello together. So I'm Lisa Mueller from WebToGo, and today I would like to show you our solution and how it can revolutionize home network support. So first, a few words on WebToGo. So WebToGo is a global software house founded around the same time as AXIROS in 2001. We are around 60 professionals and headquartered in Munich, Germany. We also have offices in Spain, the Netherlands, Latvia, and India. For more than 17 years now, we are experts in developing mobile solutions for all major operating systems. And the main focus here is on internet connectivity, troubleshooting and diagnostics, and individual user experience designs. So our customers are traditionally from the telco industry with millions of users worldwide. For example, the Deutsche Telekom Group, there they have our smartphone Hilfe pre-installed on all of their devices in over 10 countries now. Or the Orange Group, there we provided the software that they globally send out with their DSL routers. And another big one is Telkomsel Indonesia, which is the largest provider in Indonesia, and over 8 million users are using our app daily, basically. So with this experience, we basically know how to make the mobile experience as easy and comfortable as possible for customers. And now I would like to address the main pain point when my internet does not work, when my video is pixelated, or I have difficulty streaming my webinar. And as AXIROS already mentioned earlier, there are more and more connected devices in the neighboring surroundings, and there are also several Wi-Fi hotspots, and it's steadily increasing, and only with limited channels. And they may all share the same congested channel. But additionally, there will be also more diversity of devices, also from different generations, old phones, new phones, and no one really knows how all the devices work together, and they have never been tested together before with the specific individual setting. So the interoperability of different devices is getting more and more complex, and the home network of customers turn into a big black box. And basically no one knows what's going on behind the doors. So if my internet does not work, all I can do today is call the hotline. And of course, the agent can start testing on the backend system or the router configuration, but basically they have no visibility inside my home. They're missing tools to diagnose it. And if they have to send out technicians, it can be quite expensive. And usually this can be a very frustrating experience for customers. So now, not only do we have more devices and more problems, but also the effects of these issues are getting so much worse. Yesterday, I only had my laptop connected at home, and internet issues were quite annoying. But today, parts of our life already depend on it. Like my conference call is failing, or my video is pixelated. And tomorrow it's going to be everything. It's going to be my lights, my heating, my car won't start, especially in the smart home scenario. And I, as a customer, have no idea why my connection is failing. Is it an old device coming online, or is it the congested Wi-Fi channel, or even the content going out, or it can just be the cabling at my house? The only real answer to that is that we need to perform real measurements of the user's home, like directly from inside, in order to gain full visibility on all potential error sources. So our solution, HelpToGo, we are using the phone as an automated field service engineer when customers have internet problems. Our solution has basically two components. So for end users, we have the SelfCare app. And think of it as your best friend who doesn't have to play guessing games and knows exactly what is going on 24/7. And then on the other side, for the support agents, we provide the right tools for them to get access to all these measurements and test reports in real time. So in the end, they can efficiently support the customer. So now I would like to jump directly to our demo, and therefore I need to connect my screen and show you my device. So now this is the software running on my phone. And the start screen shows me like a strategic overview map of my home network. Our HelpToGo solution is covering the entire story with everything and all the components that are needed for my internet to work. So like the device at the bottom, then the Wi-Fi connection, which goes from the device directly to the router itself, then the backbone traffic and the fixed line network, which goes to the content, to the internet servers. And then on the left side, we have the mobile connection. So our SelfCare approach can shine light on the whole home network complexity, and therefore provides a complete view of all these elements inside and outside the provider's responsibility. And to make this as easy as possible, we're simply using traffic light symbols. So when it's green, it's all good. When it's yellow, there's a warning, and arrows appear in red. So now everything is good. So let's start on the left side where we have the mobile network. The app can here check my mobile connection, like the signal strength or the roaming state. But more importantly, for a holistic approach, we need to know if we're using the mobile or the Wi-Fi connection in order to isolate problems. So at the moment, the left side is grayed out, like here. And this is because we currently are accessing traffic through our Wi-Fi connection. And I think the biggest benefit is also that if there is an internet outage of any kind and my internet does not work, the great benefit is that we can access all the data through the mobile connection. So basically, we can use it as a backup, and then we can communicate and send commands to the AXIROS backend to receive all the relevant data and inform the customer. But now let's look in more detail at the device itself at the bottom. So here we have a subset of our leading smartphone diagnostic tests, like the internet consumption by apps, which is or can be one of the main problems when apps are running in the background and they are slowing down my device. Then we have general tests on the battery health. We have the CPU usage, when some processes are using up all the CPU in the background, for example. And basically the main objective is to verify specific device settings that could affect my internet connection. And this specifically is something that the telco cannot see. Okay, let's go back to the circle and the main screen and look in more detail to the Wi-Fi network. So here I want to diagnose the Wi-Fi network, and I can even see to which Wi-Fi I'm connected at the moment, if it's my neighbor's Wi-Fi or if I'm in my own Wi-Fi. And the app provides in each section additional details and historical data. So here on the side menu, I can click on details. And we see, for example, the SSID and the BSSID. And this is rather technical information, but it can be quite important when my neighbor and I, for example, have a Fritzbox with the same model name, and then the BSSID I need as a unique identifier. Then let's enable our tests. For the Wi-Fi spectrum, that's quite interesting. Here it scans the Wi-Fi channels, what we discussed earlier in the presentations as well, and it identifies the congested ones. So on more, I receive a graphical overview and of all the different channels. And right now we're on channel 4, and the better channel would be on channel 3, although channel 4 is fine as well. But this allows the user to directly switch to a less congested one, either from the app itself or through the AXIROS backend. Okay, yes, the local scan. This is possibly the most interesting test we have in this section. And here we believe this is the real thing for the future when talking about the interoperability, when several connected devices from different generations interfere with each other. And if I yes, and then also it can show me that like all the devices that are connected to my home network. Let's see. Right here. So here it shows all the devices that are connected, and the really nice thing is that it also informs users when a specific device comes online and basically breaks my Wi-Fi. And the app can analyze this possible relation and inform or alert the user about it. So for example, every time my mom streams her favorite cooking show on my old laptop, I have troubles understanding my Skype calls. And today I have no idea what could be the cause. And these correlations, when the device comes online and the Wi-Fi breaks, they're not really visible if you don't track them over longer times. And this is quite a unique approach, which we haven't seen anywhere else out there so far. So then let's go to the router. Here it allows the user to log into the router and obtain all the relevant data, such as the connected devices. So currently, this is implemented for our Fritzbox using TR64. This is a standard protocol to talk directly to the router. But now also with the AXIROS partnership, we can integrate their APIs and receive the data from their backend systems. So if the router is not reactive or dropping packages, I can either reboot or diagnose the router directly from the app or through the AXIROS backend. Then the fixed line network up here, our provider line. This provides us with background information on the provider line. At the moment, it doesn't show a lot since we're not connected to a provider. But if we integrate the APIs of the telco, we can directly measure the DSL signal at home, like the speed test between the router and the provider backend. And the nice thing is that then the customer does not have to call the hotline anymore for this information, but he has all the relevant information accessible on the device. As I said earlier, it can also be, my internet problem can also be on the content server, on the internet itself. So here I can check on my Wi-Fi internet congestion. And this recognizes open apps and it checks if the needed internet servers are reachable. It also gives me a visual trace route and checks whether there are any critical points on the hops here from the device to the service of the provider. So here the app knows that I was reading the news before on BBC, and it checks if the internet servers are reachable. So generally, the app is geared to let users help themselves, but it's also a great call center tool. So if the customer still has an issue, the customer can directly ask for support in the menu and open a new ticket. And it directly connects to the call center agent's help desk. So I will show you that as well, which is here. So here I have a few statistics, and I can jump to the digital support. And the customer appears automatically in my support queue and can be assigned to an agent. So I get the device information, and on overview, the agent can see exactly the same circle as the end user does on the device, with all the elements and even the same colors. This should be as simple as possible, so the communication between the user and the agent can be really easy. The nice thing is that tests can be also triggered directly from the support agent remotely. So for example, here in the timeline, it shows me all the history on the tests and what I'm remotely doing. The nice thing is here that I can also contact the customer directly, either via chat, via video, or of course via voice. So we also have several add-ons like a remote screen takeover. We can see the test history of the reports. But now I would like to hand over to Peter Düsing, who will give you an overview on the main HelpToGo use cases.
Thank you, Lisa, for a lovely overview of our home network support solution, which we believe is really a game changer when it comes to providing home network support. But we are shipping various other flavors of our client software running against the AXIROS backend, all based on the same concept of taking measurements locally and running on users' phones, but with a focus on different use cases. So we also provide a library that acts as a remote probe. The idea here is that without necessarily engaging the user, it runs measurements and sends them to the AXIROS database. For instance, channel scan data, as it is seen where the user actually is, as opposed to where the router is located. Right? So this is, I mean, normally the solutions out there today, you get channel scans, but you get them from the router. Now your user may be using his Wi-Fi in the living room some distance from the router, where the whole situation might be quite different. So when this data is then sent to AXIROS automatically, the algorithms to select the best channel for the user then work better. We're also seeing a lot of demand for quality of service agents. So this is mostly based on new legislation in the European Union and a lot of other countries, where telcos have to visualize the bandwidth that they provide to their customers. So speed tests and all that. With our client, you can show speed tests not only as the speed arrives at the customer device, but also from the CPE to the internet, or indeed from the CPE to the device. So this is avoiding issues, quite common issues, where you're doing a speed test, or a customer is doing a speed test from his phone, And in fact, the broadband you're providing is actually very fast, but what's arriving at the device is quite slow because the bottleneck is in fact the Wi-Fi. So in a solution like this one, all the information can be provided to the user, and the user understands that the operator is providing the service as per the agreement. The home network diagnostics we have already talked about at length, but our client software also acts as a notification engine. So this engine can be used to provide triggered messages such as system outages or maintenance work. But there are also simply cases when you need to engage with the customer and cannot automatically adjust settings for them. As an example, your smart backend algorithm may think it wise to migrate your customers to the 5 GHz band, but you can't just do this, right? Because the customer may still run devices that need 2.4 GHz. So this is an improved setting that you think makes sense for your customer, but you can't just automatically do it, but you need to somehow engage in a conversation with your customer, and the notifications engine allows you to do so. Another big topic is effectively network administration. Network administration for the customers in their own homes. And this is a huge topic and a feature that is really valued by users. Philosophically speaking, today what is happening is that there's all kinds of devices that are running in the home network that the owner doesn't really have control over anymore. So using this solution, it enables the customer to actually see what is going on again, and really impact normal features that everybody cares about. So on the one hand, this can improve customer security because you can see what devices are actually on the network, on your network. It can also offer parental control features because users can conveniently disconnect their kids when it's time for bed. So this is all really relevant stuff in today's world. And finally, we provide a flavor of our app for field service agents. This basically automates jobs when new customers need to be set up. For instance, if you're migrating from copper to fiber and settings need to be migrated or new networks configured. Or, in fact, if you simply need to certify that after your field agents left the customer's premises, everything is in good working order and with perfect settings for all rooms. So this is pretty much it for now. I hope we've given you a good overview of how client software can play together with those wonderful AXIROS products. And I hand over back to Wolfgang for some more insights into the AXIROS side of things.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Peter. Was impressive information, impressive presentation. And now you've seen what we can do to make the customers happy in their own network, to give some more insights, the clients connected and the congestions in the wireless network. And now let's have a closer look at what we can do in the access and core network. There might also be some issues coming up. And for that, we have our Extract monitoring platform. So what is Extract? Extract is a transparent, let's say, monitoring proxy, like comparable to an ACS, that is placed between your devices and your existing ACS solution. So it's transparent, meaning you do not need to change anything on the CPEs. The ACS URL will stay the same. And for the devices, it's just a transparent node, which they won't even see. And Extract collects all relevant statistical and, let's say, metric data from the CPEs regarding traffic, congestions, errors on the DSL line, errors in LTE network. And Extract is protocol independent and also network independent, as Kurt mentioned in the beginning. So you have one platform for all your DSL devices or your LTE devices. And what you see here today is what you get out of the box. So you install the Extract, place it in front of your ACS, and the devices will deliver all their statistical data for assuring a good service quality. Let's say the interval, the collection interval is a use case depending. It can be 1 hour, it can be 15 minutes, which is quite usual, or even up to 1 minute, that we collect the data from all the devices in your networks. And now here we see some data aggregation, which is all taken directly from the devices. So these are all technical parameters that are available in TR69. You see, for example, here the traffic received today, the traffic of the month. You can sort by these lines here. The traffic sent, you see the CRC errors of all your devices. And of course, you can do some more fine grouping here and add some filters like which devices are online, which devices are up. Let's just see and search. And now you see all your devices that are connected actually. You see the traffic they spent, and here again the errors. And now if we identify a device having trouble producing errors on the DSL line, we can have a closer look directly at the line and at this device. So you see here the traffic information gathered for 4 hours or 1 day, depending on what customer is complaining about, even 1 week or up to a year. And this is also for DSL errors or for DSL noise margin or the DSL speed. So if a customer calls you and is complaining about his access speed, you have the complete picture here of the last weeks and months. And also you see here we have thresholds, and these thresholds lead to alarmings. So for all devices that are below 10 Mbit, for example, there will be an alarming for you to act proactively. And getting back to our overview, I said in the beginning that here we only have or take information directly from the device. Of course, you can always enrich the device information with additional metadata, as for example the DSLAM ID or the core network switch where the devices are connected to. And with this data aggregation, you can recognize upcoming issues and let's say network errors in a very early stage. And if you have to exchange a switch in a certain network, you can reduce the internet access speed in the meantime, so you have a lower traffic, and this will result in less errors. And when you're done with fixing the network, you can give the customers full speed again. This is all working automatically together with our ACS, of course. And so we have here the DSL KPIs, and for LTE networks, of course, we have different KPIs. This is all, of course, vendor depending too. And so for LTE, for example, we have in default the RSSI quality statistics. We can have a look what we also are collecting. So the INSI APN, also the traffic that the customer was using, spending this month. We can just have a look here. And again, you can get on the device and have a look at the historical traffic that was produced, or different KPIs as said RSSI or RSCP, if the device is delivering this information. So this is all what you really get very out of the box. Just install the extract, and you have these aggregations at once. And to have a complete view on the network, this is also quite interesting. Also, these network statistics are completely, let's say, auto-created by the ACS, automatically created. And this is a real-time picture of, let's say, the device population and the distribution on different networks. So, for example, we have 40% on VDSL2 connected, and the 60% are connected via Ethernet. So it's not known for DSL bundle, but for an Ethernet bundle it will be. And here you see, let's have a look at the DSL access. This is more interesting. Yeah, here you see the average downstream speed and which traffic is in which access network, which traffic is available or which bandwidth is available in which access network. And for example, here again we have an automated aggregation. So you see all your VDSL devices with 100 Mbit, and if you have 50 Mbit, it would be another different grouping. And you have the quality parameters here as the average downstream for VDSL and the average attenuation. You see the last aggregation. And if you click here again, you see all your VDSL devices and what's the state here. So how much traffic has been spent, the errors, the downstream speed, the average downstream speed. So all crucial information that you need to be able to tell the customer that the connection is working and to deliver a good service quality. And together with WebToGo, I think we have the full picture, starting at the very beginning of the site, the traffic, the content provider, up to the client's, the customer's device. So with this complete picture, I think it's the best base for happy customers and a very effective support. Yeah, that's it. So from my side, and questions are open. Thanks a lot for your interest. Thanks. Anyone else wants to say something? Some last words?
No, just famous last words. So a restful weekend to all of you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yes, thanks, Marcel, as well. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, bye.